Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. What happened?
The face you made while you were clicking us over was really funny.
What did I
And
do?
then I realized, oh, we're swapping. Keep going.
What did I do?
Nothing. You're cute. Keep going.
Welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together until we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Their Story, chapters 1 through 160. It sounds like a lot, but I promise it's not. And I am Erin of Happily Air, and your host. With me are my two lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest. We'll have everybody go around and introduce themselves, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dodger. And that's it. Sorry, I went into this a little too powerful because I was worried I wasn't going to chew my food in time. But
Hi, everybody.
did. Hey.
Hey, everybody. My name is Lou. And happy to talk about this manga. I'm really excited. It's very, very different from a lot of what we've done here. So, yeah. Very happy to talk about it. Yeah.
Guest.
And our guest.
Hello everybody. My name is Zeria.
Sorry.
I am a anime YouTuber and a freelance writer and a college student, but let's ignore that part. And I also happen to be a big fan of Yuri, so they invited me on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. We're so excited to have you. If you guys have never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read. It's not actually a manga this week. It is a Chinese webcomic. I'm just stuck in the mindset of, manga pod.
I was trying to remember. I know manga. I know manhwa. I can't remember what the word is.
I'm pretty sure it's also manhwa, but it's just spelled differently.
Is it?
Oh, is it really?
Shit.
Oh, manhwagaka. We have our terminology nailed down already. So yes, if you've never joined us for a manga pod before, what I like to do is give a short spoiler-free description of what we read. That will be read by our guests, and we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this or not. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section, come back and watch the VOD of this later. Spoiler-free description. Are you
All
ready?
right.
Hit it.
When Sun Jing of affiliated number 2 high school encounters Chu Tong of South High School, I hope those names are correct, a small episode makes Sun Jing remember the girl whose smile was as warm as sunshine. Their schools are adjacent to each other, so Sun Jing starts to find ways to approach Chu Tong, like trying to speak to her at the bus station, etc. As the story progresses, the pair grows closer, and their feelings for each other grow ever closer, or grow ever clearer, whatever. Would you like to take a peek at their comedic and adorable love story?
Perfect. Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Why, yes,
please.
I would.
Yes, we all would like that very much. Awesome. Thank you so much. Who would like to go first for spoiler-free recommendations? I can go. Oh,
I can go.
hit it.
Everybody can go.
Would love this so much. I love it's so cute. It's so fast. The art is great. The characters are phenomenal and so eccentric and just quirky, and I love it. Go read it. It's so fast. So quick.
Super fast. Yeah. I absolutely adored it. I didn't expect it to quickly. I assumed that it was going to be like, okay, so there's girl A, girl B, and then girl A's best friend, and those are going to be the first characters that we flesh out at all. And I loved that very quickly. We got this whole other. We got so much more than that right off the bat. Everything was so fun and sweet, and it already goes fast because each chapter is really short. But it also goes fast because you're just having a blast reading it. The humor is spot on. It's great. I definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo everything that's been said so far. It's an extremely fast read. And it doesn't, it hits its joke, knocks it out of the park, and then it moves on to something completely different. So the pacing for this is a lot different from other gag manga that we've read in the past. So I definitely recommend it. I think that you will blow through it and you'll have a blast the entire way through. It's not often that I laugh out loud while reading manga, and this made me do it on more than one occasion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Their story's fantastic, and as everyone said, the pacing's great. Only downside with it is that there's not more to read.
Agreed. It goes so fast that at the end you're like, "What? I want more." So good.
For sure.
So there you go. We all recommend that you go and check this out. So we are going to jump into spoiler section. We do ask that when we get into spoiler section to please not post anything past what we read, chapter 160. There's not a whole lot more chapters out after that, but we do ask that you not spoil them for us, please, and thank you. So we're gonna go into spoiler section.
You okay?
Bless you. Was that a sneeze? Bless you. Perfect.
All right. 5, 4, 3.
Wait. Okay. You can go.
1.
I don't know her name, but she's God. Tall girl is God.
Tall
I guess.
girl.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Oh my
I'm
god,
a big
I love.
fan. Big fan.
She's fantastic.
I love her. Okay, we'll dive in, but I want to ask the question that we always start with, which is, what were you expecting before going in and reading this manhwa? So, Lou, Dodger, have you read it before? No. Okay. I want to hear people who haven't read it before thoughts going into it.
So, like, kind of what I touched on in the spoiler-free recommendation is that I expected it to be, like, entirely focused on the main two girls for at least the beginning, and then they would slowly be like, oh yeah, remember there's, like, fucking Muscle's glasses over there and Bear Boy and, like, whatever else. Like, yeah, they're adjacent, sure, so give them a story. But, like, so many characters mattered so fast, like, or, like, I was invested in their story so fast. I thought that the dynamics between, like, the friends was so believable, and that was established immediately. And I was really delighted by that, like, surprised and delighted by that. It created a situation where it didn't matter who the chapter was going to focus on, and it didn't matter if it was going to be just, like, where it's obvious that the person writing it was like, I just have this idea for a goof, and I know there's heavy shit going on right now, but I need to just have a chapter that's this joke, right? Like, I still loved those chapters because it just gave you, like, more of everybody, you know? Yeah.
Lou?
So my expectations going into this, I had heard that the chapters were short. I did not expect them to be this short. I expected the humor to be more cutesy than anything, and this was very much similar to, like, 4 Koma gag manga.
For sure.
Very, very out there humor. So, like, this was, like, with it took me a few chapters to, like, really grasp that this was completely different than other gag series that I've read. And I think what really sets it apart from other gag series that I've read is just the actual romantic arc between the two main girls. I think it was extremely well done in that it built the relationships that the girls had in a way that felt believable for high school age girls. Conversely, the downside to it is that it's very shallow, and that while yes, they're building their feelings, and, you know, they're giving pretty broad reasons for their interest in each other. I would have liked to explore it a little bit more, and as you guys kind of pointed out, there isn't a whole bunch more beyond what we've read, which means that, you know, that itch I have is not going to get scratched anytime soon.
I trying to remember. I started reading this a while ago. Gosh, I think I was reading it pretty much when it was starting. Because the same group that translates it does 19 Days, which is another.
I was trying to figure out if it's the same
I don't know
people
if it's
that
the
make
same.
it, but it doesn't. The creator is a different name,
Yeah. So
so I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so similar.
It's so similar in both like the style and the art. Like at times there's like the art is incredibly similar. So the people who are translating it on Tumblr, I was following them because I was reading 19 Days, and they started posting this one, and so then I got real invested into this one too, just for all the reasons that it's so funny. I think that's what struck me at the start, that I laugh at so many chapters just because they're so like spot on and witty. It's not just cheap humor. It's just so creative. Like the chapter where the senpai, older upperclassman, gives her his coat. It's just so fucking funny.
So,
like
those
it's
goofs
so
are
good.
quality.
Perfect. And so yeah, so I just got really into it, like you guys said. I wasn't expecting to get as into the characters and having characters that dynamic on what I was reading that quickly either. So I just got real into it. Same.
Like Aaron, I started reading it a long time ago. I'd say I was expecting it to be a lot more dramatic than it is. Like, there's definitely some drama, but I was expecting, like, you know, it works like Citrus and stuff will have, like, the evil characters who ruin everything for the main characters, whereas this is just, like, mostly, like, relatively like, fluffy comedy. That's really what I was not expecting when I first started reading it, which was 2 or 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, and, oh, God, my brain just died. I had some, I was listening, and then my brain just, like, went away. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, to build on that, I also expected there to be way more drama. I thought that if there was going to be comedy, did that unhinge?
It snapped back into place.
You could say your thing. I don't think I'll forget my thing, but if I do, it'll be a comedy of errors. Go for it.
I was gonna say, going off of like expecting the characters to like ruin things, the evil characters. Yeah, there's really not that in there, and the one that is there ends up being like a cool dude that they're all like chill
totally
with.
fine.
Yeah.
So that was all that reminded me of. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I expected that if there was going to be comedy, it was going to be to like to sort of dissipate the inevitable drama of their relationship. And like their relationship has been so drama free. Like the most drama that there was her being like, I don't want to lead you on, and I don't know how I feel. And the other one going, that's okay. Like that was the most dramatic chapter there was.
yeah,
Like it was just so nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was one more chapter that has some drama, and that's the confession of the other girl, or what it seems like is going to be a confession of the other girl, and how Tall Girl didn't end up showing up on time.
So dense.
So.
She's so dense.
Yeah.
She's so dense. It's just like, come on, man. Damn.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for that other girl.
I know, she just like isn't cluing in at all.
Yeah.
She's very one track mind. Like she knows what she is looking forward to, what she's into. Everything else is just like a blur, like just blobs. And then she's got her main girl that she's into, and that's all she can focus on.
Yeah.
I really liked the intro of their characters and how they didn't know each other and how they slowly became friends and got to know each other. I thought that felt really organic, and also just really relatable. Like right off the bat, it was like there was no mulling about or anything. It was, oh yeah, she has a crush on this girl. Like it was immediate.
Right.
There was no.
We didn't have like a bunch of chapters where she was just like, oh no, I can't have a crush on a girl. Surely not. Like literally right off the bat, like her friends knew, she knew. They were all just like, all right, well, bud, rooting for you. I hope you smooch that chick. See ya.
Yeah, and that's how like all of the relationships are handled. Like doesn't matter. They're just like, yeah, no, okay, you dig what you dig, go do it. It's all good. I love that
I want
approach.
them to continue exploring large senpai
And
and
Bear
Yeah.
Boy.
Me too. I love him.
I'm so sad we haven't gotten more of him because the intro to that I thought was perfect.
it was fucking
was
great.
so
Amazing.
good with the umbrella.
No, and then you see the senpai show up and he's fucking massive. He looks like he
He
belongs.
show his face forever.
No, he looks like he belongs in JoJo's. Like he should be a JoJo's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like the fluffiest dude who just really likes food.
Oh my god, that whole scene with everybody,
At
like
the
when they
dinner.
were all eating together, fuck, was so good.
Like, I love that shit where like two opposing teams end up in the same place eating and there's not enough space so they get squeezed together. And the whole part where like the two girls were lovey-dovey, the white-haired dude and the other girl were kind of lovey-dovey, like helping each other order. And then Mophead is like stares at the guy across him, is like, you help me order. And the guy's like, you can eat
Yeah.
shit.
We're together now in this scenario.
Because upperclassman was with the food.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's third best pairing is upperclassman X plate of ramen or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to remember what they call. Oh, Tattletale. That's what they call it.
Oh, yeah, Tattletale.
Yes.
Tattletale,
I
oh my
want
God.
more of him. I want every time he shows up, I'm like, yes, a Tattletale chapter. Yes.
The flag, I don't know why I found that chapter so funny, but
He
up
comes
to
back in like soaking wet, and everyone's
and they're all like,
Yeah.
so good. And I really, something that I loved about it is not just his character, but like just the interactions and how playful the characters are with one another. Like everything just feels so genuine. Like the chapter where the four of them are stuck in the hallway and they all just end up playing games and the teacher's like, God damn it. Like it just seems like a high school like hijink. It's so like I just love it. I love reading that when you can make character interactions feel that like fluffy and real and natural. I think it's a real talent.
What about this is like the exact opposite of that. But what about when that girl was passed out drunk and Mophead was like leaning over her?
I was
And
like,
yet-
Mophead, no. And he was like, no.
And I was like, yes!
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Like the fact that the thought crossed his mind was
Yeah.
the worst part of what we read.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely. And then he did the right thing though, where he's like, all right, I'm going to the other side of the couch and I'm calling a girl and having them come pick him up. Like he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, taking over. The whole, his birthday party too, the scene where blonde girl is talking to the one dude and he's like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? And then main girl comes and is like, fuck off.
Just fucking kicks the chair away. That was amazing. In the end, we got a smooch, so I was happy with it. But when we had the chapter with them walking home, and she was like, "Wow, I was a little out of control. That was really silly of me." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then we got the smooch. And can I say
We
the
did.
her reactions, not just with like the kiss, but early on when she's like getting her number, learning her name, and she just like blushes and
So
jumps
happy.
around and is so happy. I could not stop smiling. It was
Yeah, I
so
love it.
cute.
It's just such a nice manga.
Yeah, it just fills you like all with warmth. It's so fluffy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about main girl, Sun. Let's talk
Tall
about
girl?
tall
yeah.
girl. Sunjin? Is that how you say it?
Sunjing?
Sunjing?
I don't know how it's pronounced.
Sunjin?
I guess Sun.
Yeah, let's talk about her. I mean, we all agree that she is phenomenal and awesome.
She's great. What an icon.
She's fantastic.
I love her.
And there's not like a ton of like because we don't have a ton of backstory and like things like that with the like in terms of depth with the characters, but she is definitely like a character that could have fallen into tropes. Like all of them are characters that could have fallen into like a trope or
sure.
been really cliche. But I think there's something just with how happy and excited she gets that just makes her so endearing. And that because she's that character that's like the tall girl who's really like kind of sporty but really good at like really popular and all of that stuff, but she's not cocky or anything like that. She's just so
She's not a
cute.
tsundere.
Yeah,
she's
she's
like
not a tsundere. Good point.
she
Yes.
like plays around with her friends in a believably high school way, like you were saying. And when she has a crush, it's like super fucking obvious. Like, yeah, there's a lot of really endearing, like, young qualities to her that I love.
Yeah, I feel like her like relationship with Mophead, like her friendship, is like really important to like making her feel realistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the way they became friends with their
Mhm.
IDs getting swapped.
Yeah, that was great.
And I love her character design too. Like, it's kind of going back to the art, but I love her character design and the outfits just in general. I've talked about this on MangaPod before. I'm a big sucker for when characters wear different outfits. And
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
loved all the fashion in this, but I really liked her style and how it was like feminine but sporty at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
feminine, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I just
They had
love
very
her.
distinct looks.
Yeah.
The two
Yeah.
of them that felt
Yeah.
like they absolutely suited their characters. Yeah.
Mhm. And they
That's a
complemented
skill.
each other really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I like Sun. I think she's a really fun character. Again, like, I wish we would have gotten more depth out of her, but I do think that we've seen some pretty solid glimpses into who she is as a person, specifically in the text conversations that she'll have with the other girl. So, like, for example, pointing out that she specifically likes her, and she's not really into other girls. She specifically likes her, and I think that adds. I guess it kind of makes it a little naive, but in a really endearing sort of way. That she's discovering this aspect of herself. Because, like, as far as we know, this is the first girl that she's attracted to, and she's like embracing it, and she's not scared of what this means in relation to like her place in society. Like, I love that this treats everything as socially acceptable, and like no one is questioning anything, and that she is comfortable with this, like, with this realization of who she is.
For sure. Which I wanted to segue into a story about why after the kiss there is not much progress.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you said that you had a story for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so takes a little bit of setup here. Last year, or maybe it was 2017, I can't remember at this point. It's been long enough. That the Chinese publishing site Weibo banned LGBT stuff under like something that they claimed that the government was banning it for some sexuality law. Later on, the government, like the official party paper, put out something that was like, "No, we didn't ban this." So it's kind of confusing what actually like happened.
How weird.
But
Weird,
because
yeah.
of that, the author had to delay things for a while because the publisher was like, "We're not going to print volume 2 with this kiss. You have to remove the kiss to print it." And she was like, "No, I refuse to do that." So that's why like it got like heavily delayed, and then like a lot of the chapters after that have just been kind of like meandering.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
So
my
so
gosh.
where's the GoFundMe to get this artist out of China and set up somewhere else so we can have our pure Yuri posted online? Damn it!
I wonder if was 19 days on that same
I think it
site?
was.
Because I've noticed something in 19 days, like it's kind of feels like that same thing in some parts of it lately.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I wonder if that's on the same thing. But that's really cool of that author. Yeah, like everyone
Yeah, to be like,
saying,
no, I'm not taking out my kiss.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
to like
Yeah.
stick to the guns. That's awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's man, that's stinks.
No, it's definitely a shame. I
Yeah.
think she might have gotten it published at this point. Like it might have changed. I don't think we know if we know.
Yeah.
Man,
Ugh.
it makes me want to buy all her stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Let's talk about the love interest, cutie patootie blonde girl.
Out
She's
of the two,
fantastic.
she's the one that I feel like we don't know very well. to be honest. Like I feel like Sun, I get, like, we've seen her family, like we've seen all of her friends, like all of this stuff. With the other girl, it's established like, yeah, she's cute, but she doesn't connect with people very easily, and her mom's never home and her dad doesn't live with her, and like, so we haven't gotten a whole lot of like her world. Like, we don't see her world ever really, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like what I do, there's like very tiny bits that's still definitely ongoing, but you can see how like Sunjin is affecting her and like finding her way into the holes that like she has in her life, and how that's like making her happier. So you can kind of see her opening up even more, but it's like not too much, doesn't feel like a ton of progress, because it's not like she was completely closed off at the beginning. Like, we got the idea, the knowledge that she, like you said, doesn't make friends very easy, but it wasn't like she was like this gloomy girl, never talked to anybody or anything like that. But I do like seeing her be happy. I really like seeing her happy, and that Sunjin makes her so happy. Like the the chapter where Sunjin like runs all the way over there and is just covered in sweat because she finds out that she's sad, and she's leaning on the door frame like, I'm here, and it's just like so much sweat. And so I like seeing, but that kind of goes back to like Sunjin too, and her as a character. And so I want to become more familiar with her, the blonde girl, as well. Key? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop or I'll offend people.
I know I was there too. I was like,
my apologies to China.
It's QIU. I know.
I mean, we'll just abbreviate it to QT because
QT.
you know her.
That's good.
Good job, Lou.
Yeah, nice.
QT.
I definitely love how like subtle her feelings are. Actually, like, she's definitely like somewhat lonely. You get like a vague hint that like her family's kind of like separated from her. She also seems kind of rich, so maybe it's just like that classic like rich girl, like her parents are kind of a little neglectful thing. But like, it doesn't go like so hard that it's like, she can't trust anybody because her parents are rich. It's just like a subtle like impact on her personality, and I like that.
Yeah. I like the little quirky chapters we get with her, where she just does like, she brought her rain boots and her umbrella, and she's jumping around in the puddles. Like, it's just like little things like that. But I like watching her like feelings develop too. I like seeing both of their feelings develop. And it's interesting how they're done like in different ways. And so I think she's super cute. Like, when characters say that she's pretty or that she's cute, I'm like, yeah, I can see why characters say that. Like, she's drawn very, like, her character's very pretty. So sweet. So cute. What about you, Lou? Do you have any? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, on that topic, I think the art in general is just like really, really solid in this manga.
Yeah. You go.
I was just gonna say the character designs are really solid. Like, what they want you to get, like the feeling that they want you to have when you see a character is spot on. Like during the whole like basketball sequence, right? Which I loved, by the way, the big like basketball match. Everybody talking about like how cool Sun was, and like and other characters being like, yeah, there's just something really like attractive about her. I'm like, there is.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Like, yeah, true. So like stuff like that, when characters say something, it's not like when you're reading a manga and somebody's like, wow, so and so is so handsome, and then they show the character and you're like, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
everything that a character says about another character, you're like, I get it. I see it. Yeah.
I think that comes down to like the proportions a lot. Like, they're very like, when a character's tall, they look tall. They don't look like 5'3" and yet called tall, which is like, I think, really useful. Like, they have like very like realistic proportions.
Yeah, that's a good point. The whole body like anatomy of all the characters is really well done. Because, like, you know how sometimes you can just be like, wow, that's a giant hand. Like, there doesn't feel like there's any of that. Like, all the characters feel like the author and the artist understand anatomy and understand different body types. Like, so many different body types among the main cast. Like, even if it's just, like, the length of their shoulders and just the differences. And they even talk about Bear Boy, where Sunjin's like, no, I think you're handsome just in a different way than Mophead. I feel like you're the type that would attract boys more than girls. And he's like... So it's just, like, the fact that, like, all the characters, like, have just completely different looks about them is really cool.
You know what? Actually, on that note, you know what I thought was, like, a really interesting conversation is when Sun is, like, talking with Mophead, trying to be like, hey, how do you pick up girls, right?
Yeah.
And Mophead is like, well, I mean, it's going to be different. Like, it's going to be different because, like, if I'm with her alone, there's a different feeling than if you're with her alone. Because there's a high likelihood that she'll just think it's friends. Whereas if I was there could potentially be just, like, an underlying romantic baseline, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of true. Like, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Him being like, so you gotta come up with how to be like, hey, I'm interested, right? And she totally was, like, right off the bat, like, really, really early was like, hey, I like you.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean that I think you're a friend. Like, I like you.
How do you guys feel about the confession?
The initial one?
Yeah.
I, like, really liked Chu Tong's reaction to it. She's just like, yo, I don't know how I feel. I'm not gonna, like, we're friends and I don't want to ruin that, so I'm not gonna, like, rush into saying something until I'm sure.
Yeah, I liked that too. And I liked that when her initial response to I like you was, I like you too. I'm so glad that they didn't just leave it and have the other girl go, haha, yeah, that's totally what I meant. Bye.
Yeah.
Push it like, no. It's different. Like, what I'm saying is different from what you're saying. I was really glad that was resolved and, like, clear.
Yeah, I thought I was surprised they did it so early. But it didn't feel wrong for it to happen that early either. And something I really liked about it was the aftermath of it. Like, they pushed through. If there was, like, a little bit of awkward, but it, like, completely, the characters were still in character. Like, it was Sunjin's personality to just, like, not make it awkward and, like, to just push through and be like, nah, like, things don't have to change. Like, and this is a genuine thing too. And so I really liked how they handled the aftermath, because that could have been another, like, drama, miscommunication, misunderstanding thing. And so it was refreshing to not have that happen.
It was almost pushed to the extreme opposite of that when she's, like, insisting on following her home.
Yeah.
She's like, stop following me. Like, this is so weird. And she's like, no, because if we leave it here and we don't, like, just finish the conversation, you are going to avoid me for fucking ever. And I can't do that. Like, like, we got to just get this done now. And as a reader, I was like, this is great. Glad we're going to get this done now.
I'm glad we didn't get, like, chapters and chapters of them, like, of them kind of, like, avoiding each other and things just be, you know, lots of, like, blushing from a distance, you know, like, avoiding all those tropes and saying, no, we're going to fucking have this conversation. It's going to resolve itself one way or another, and we're going to be good. And that's, you know, that's what happened. And I like that. I mean, there was still some residual awkwardness, but even now, like, you know, they've worked through it and they had their natural progression, and it escalated into, you know, the blonde girl initiating a kiss.
I know.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Like, specifically, like, her initiating adds so much to this, especially since she was the one that did, like, was on the receiving end of that confession.
And, like, she's just trying to figure out, she's like, I obviously have feelings, but I do not know how to, like, gather my thoughts and figure this out either.
it honestly makes it feel like their relationship will like work out way better than a lot of other like manga relationships long term, just because like they do that communication and stuff early on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just so fucking cute.
They're so cute.
They're so
Everybody's
so
cute.
adorable.
Everyone is cute.
Even the buff boys are cute.
And tall class president who's really bad at basketball.
Oh my god, I want more of him as well.
I know.
He didn't get nearly enough limelight. Like, we got his whole fucking backstory to build up that he's gonna be this like tall dude who has no basketball skill whatsoever. They were like, we're gonna give you all of the lore on this boy. And then he was around for literally like one chapter. Like, even when they went to get food,
He
they were
wasn't
like,
there.
where's the other dude that was on our team? Oh well. It's like, no, this poor boy. Press play.
Him.
Can I also say, I assumed because of tropes, I just assumed that Glasses Boy was the class president, and I was delighted that he
Yes.
actually was.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, he's just a normal ass boy in this class.
And the fact that Mophead has a better score than he does.
Yeah.
His class ranking.
All of these things.
There was a cell phone chapter where the dudes are like stealing the cell phone and it's all shady, and then it ends up being that the kid sent him this cheesy poem that he didn't mean to text to him, and so he's trying to like
Yeah.
delete it.
I couldn't tell if he sent it to the wrong person or if he did send it and then
Yeah.
was like, that was a terrible idea, or like, it was so unclear and we got no resolution with it.
Yeah.
It was just so funny. I was like, okay.
No, and I like how what was it? The Tattletale just kind of just like shrugs it off like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's-
It's like, oh, okay.
Not my problem.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, we've kind of touched on like everybody. Do you guys have any other thoughts you want to bring up?
what about the confession to Mophead from that girl that was just
Oh.
like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
she would not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I be your friend? I don't care.
Was she the same girl that was at the end? The girl that got drunk?
in the?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah, because she
Okay.
looked a lot like the girl from the other school that played basketball. Like I got
Yeah.
them confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Um,
she was the confession girl.
I think she was too. Cause that whole scene was very weird with her being like, like she just pushed it to the point that he was like, I don't care. Sure. Whatever. And I was like, wait, is she your girlfriend now? I'm so confused.
And like we get no clarification for that either.
Yeah.
And that's fine, I guess.
And she pops up sometimes.
Yeah. And then she showed up and he touched her hair and leaned in a little and then was weird. And then like I was like, oh, she's still a thing. Okay.
It's like, oh, there she is.
Okay, cool.
Do you guys have any other goofs that we haven't touched on that you want to bring
I think
up?
the one where what's his name? The Glasses Boy's glasses got like fucking destroyed by those.
Yes,
Oh
that
my
was
god,
good.
that chapter. Wait, holy shit. The other chapter that I loved was the ice cream chapter where she caught the ice cream and they were like, what do we do? Like, those chapters are so fucking funny because they're literally just like perfect filler. Because
Yeah.
they like build on the rapport between characters. Like I just love that shit so much. It's so funny to me.
We're like,
I like.
oh, go ahead, Lou.
Oh no, you first.
No, you go.
Okay, so the one I had in mind was the where Sun was gonna open the umbrella for Kyo, and the umbrella shoots off
Yeah.
open and
Yes.
lands in the street and gets ran over by a truck. And their expression afterwards was it was great. It was priceless.
The expressions like make the goose half the time. Like
Yes.
their expressions are so. I don't know what it is about them, but I just love every single time someone makes a face and they're just like, "Oh fuck!" Like just things like that. It's perfect. Like the artist has nailed down the "Oh fuck" expression so
Yes.
Yeah,
well.
For sure.
Mhm. I kind of want to get go through it again and get a bunch more screenshots
Yeah.
because I feel like there's some that I can scavenge from there that are just like quality.
Perfect like
Yeah.
reaction images.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the fact that the art's like so precise and like realistic is what really like makes the reaction images like so much funnier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, there's so I was just like, oh, there was the scene in the when they were first getting to know each other and they went to like the 7-Eleven convenience store and got food and the cash register dude is just like, oh. Like he was just like staring at them so creepy. I was like, what are you doing, dude? What is happening to you?
But I like that he's like it's him smiling once they said that the food was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that like for me mitigated at least some of the creepiness.
Yeah. Where he's just like smiling and it does like the little star thing next to his face. Oh man, there were so many. There was one with Mophead. Oh, it was one of the raining chapters where they were like all sharing the umbrella and then a car comes by and shoots up water and she protects QT. She protects her. And then it shows Mophead just completely drenched in water.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Oh,
Yeah,
so
the one-off goofs are, I appreciate them, even though I want the story to progress. I really enjoy those chapters still.
Yeah, they just like there's times where I'm like I get confused about if it's continuing the chapter or continuing the scene or if it's its own thing. Because I don't know until the end where it says extra. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because Old John does that with 19 Days as well. The like special holiday chapters that are like in the future.
Yeah.
And like this artist does kind of the same sort of thing where it's like, okay, in the actual story they're not together yet, but for this Christmas chapter they're banging.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
You just like have to like buy into the conceit. Like they haven't smooched yet, but here's a Valentine's thing where they smooch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down with this kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just funny. Like I was like, oh yeah, this is at least I'm used to this.
Yeah, I know, because that happens. We've talked about that with 19 Days. We're like, well, we know they get together, but what? When?
Or do they? Is this an alternate universe? Like I just don't know.
Oh yeah, the alternate universe thing. We're like,
does this sexual tension really last for 20 fucking years? I can't take this.
Especially considering 19 Days is there in middle school, and you're just like, I keep forgetting that they're in middle school.
Yeah. That's some Prince of Tennis shit.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have anything else you would like to add? Otherwise, we can do final thoughts and ratings.
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Okay. Who would like to go first? Anybody?
I'll go first. I got a score and everything.
Oh, perfect.
So, I really like this manga, or this Chinese webcomic, manhua, spelled differently than they do in Korea. I think it has some really endearing characters, and it subverts a lot of the tropes that you'd expect to see in general terms romance manga. But more specifically the Yuri genre. Like I feel like this manhwa is really presenting something that's very different, and I appreciate it for that. It was extremely funny. The art was pristine. Not only the character designs, but the background art was also excellent. And like we were treated to a couple different art styles. Like you had the very detailed and serious panels, like the panels in which they have their first kiss, and then you have all the the reaction faces. So like the artist that did this has a wide skill set, and they're very proficient in every aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really have no significant complaints. I hate to harp on the whole, like, I want to see this relationship develop into something a little bit more concrete, or maybe like something that adds tension but that doesn't feel cheap. So for example, we were kind of teased on a third girl, confessing, but we've already like established that that Sun has no interest in anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's not really adding drama. So what I want to see is like something to like really make it so they're not just kind of like flirting with each other, you know, like. And once we evolve past that phase, I think like this manga will really take off. So as for like assigning it a score, I think like an 8.5 out of 10 is fair. Like if the story would have been maybe a little bit more fleshed out, I would have given it a higher rating for sure. And I think that's what's going to end up happening is once we get more of the story in, or we get more, or we get closer to the actual ending of whatever the artist is planning on making for this. I think that like it will be in that 9 to 9.5 territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was really good. This is really good. One of the better Yuri I've read on.
Yeah, I actually I think I would at least give it a 9. I really liked it. I thought basically everything that Lou said. The art was fantastic. I absolutely adore the characters. I love that this is one of those manhwa that we get to read where there isn't a whole lot of like extra bullshit thrown in. There isn't a bunch of beating around the bush. There's just like, these are my feelings. These are my feelings. And then the rest of it is just the characters existing and having fun and being so great to read, you know? So I really enjoyed it. I'd probably give it a 9.5. I don't have like significant enough issues with it or really anything that I would necessarily call an issue with it to give it something lower than that. And honestly, like, could be a 10. I don't know. I wonder how it ends. I have no idea. But
Yeah.
But, I adored it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I really love it too. I definitely do feel like I can't totally give like my final thoughts till it's over, but it's just so funny and like so cute, and like when they're like that, those rare times where there's drama, it's just like so well written. I can't give it like anything lower than a 9, and it could easily become a 10 for sure when it ends.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9.5. Because I think, like you guys, I want to see how it ends, but at the same time, my biggest pet peeve with it is that like there'll be random filler, but even that, I love the filler. Like I can't even hate on it. Like I love it. I just like get thrown off guard when it's in the middle of a scene that's currently happening, and so that's like my biggest pet peeve of it. But even that, I'm like, I love the pet peeve. Like I love the whole thing, the characters, the art, the romance, the cute, just freaking cuteness of all of it, and the humor, slice of life, like all of it is just so perfect. It's nailed awesome. Like the writing is great, the development of the relationship, I just love seeing it. So yeah, I'm giving it a 9.5. I want to see like how the relationship develops near the end and stuff, but I overall like it's everything I want out of a cute little manga. So I love it. Yeah, so that wraps up our discussion on their story, chapters 1 through 160. We all definitely recommend that you go and check it out. Does anyone else have anything else they want to talk about? Nail it? No? Okay.
Nope.
I am gonna go ahead and read the manga description for the manga that we're reading next week. And everybody in chat gets to guess what it is. All right. Blank tells the tale of a beautiful young Blank in 19th century Asia. At the age of 20, she is sent to a neighboring town to be wed, but her surprise at learning her new husband is 8 years younger than her is quickly replaced by a deep affection for the boy and his family. Though she hails from just beyond the mountain, Blank's clan had very different customs, food, and clothes from what her husband is used to. As the two of them learn more about each other, through their day-to-day lives, the bond of respect and love grows stronger. I started reading an OMG It's the Manga with the I Like You umbrella. Yes. It is also the one with the girl in the puffy coat.
Yes.
Because that's also been a meme that's gone around.
Good shit.
No, it's not in this corner of the world.
No. Sounds super wholesome. It is pretty wholesome.
So what we're reading next week has a lot of extremely detailed art.
Mm-hmm.
Like very, very, very insanely intricate art. So
It's like
maybe
mosaics
that's
and all this.
yes.
It's crazy. We have read it before.
Yes.
Something Guitar. Yes. Very good. It is
very good.
Is it one of the about the Tibetan medicine man?
No.
I like that Lou and I both looked at each other like, it's not, right?
Is
It's not.
If anybody consistently watches my streams, we talked about this manga very recently. It's just most people call it by a different name.
Yeah. You can do it. You can do it. Oh my God, you're talking about
Y'all
their
are
story.
close.
We were talking about their story. We just finished up, but this will be uploaded to YouTube eventually, so you can check it out over on there. Oh, sad face. I'm so sorry. Come on, guys. It's the English Bride story. Yay!
Yes.
Lavender Breeze. Next week.
Very clutch. Clutch.
Yeah,
Right.
did
Lavender.
it. We are reading a bride story, chapters. Hang on. Chapters 18 to 36 is what we will be checking out. So we'll be doing that next week. Let's go around and shout out our stuff. I'm Aaron, Happily Aaron. I have a YouTube channel. It's pretty inactive currently, but you can find all my previous anime reviews, first impressions, MangaPods, mental health awareness stuff on there. I'm currently working on my first book, so that is kind of what occupies. Ooh. So that is what I have been focusing on. So if you want to find me on other social media, I am most active on Twitter and Instagram. Happily Aaron all across the everything. Come and chat with me about stuff.
Hi guys, I am Dodger. I'm Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream nearly every day, and that's it. That's basically it. Lou, when you do your sign off, remember the thread you made.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so, my name is Lou. I'm from you can find me on Twitter at Lou Talks Anime. I also stream, though definitely not every day. Kind of like, hey, I have a little bit of time. Maybe I'm gonna try and do this for a little bit because it's fun to do. I play a lot of indie games, so like I've played through Katana Zero. I'm gonna play through Gato Roboto, like basically the digital.
Yeah, I beat it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I've played some of it off stream, and yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, and that's basically it. You can check out my my Twitch, which is Lou Plays Games. So I've been in the chat periodically, so just scroll up, you'll find me, and you just go and you just click follow and stuff, and it'll be great. And that's my stuff.
All right, and I'm Zeria.
And wait, Zeria.
Sorry.
I almost forgot. Like I also made a thing today, so I made a new recommendation thread, which I'm gonna throw in the chat. It's pretty great. Like we're gonna be making a new schedule, so if you want us to read shit over the next 6 months, this is a good time to like set up a Reddit account and go comment on that.
Yeah, if you see somebody recommend one that you would like us to read and they've already written it down, don't write it down again. Just upvote theirs, because that way we can see like what people are most interested in. So
Yes, that too. Good job. Good job,
sorry,
Ginger.
Zeria.
No problem. You can find me on Twitter at _Zeria_. I also have a YouTube channel, which is just Zeria. I'm a freelance writer, as I said at the start. I don't stream, though you can occasionally catch me on my wife, the Pedantic Romantics streams. And that's it, I suppose.
Thank you so much for coming.
You were a great
Thank you
guest.
so much for having me.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us,
For me
Zeria.
too.
Yeah. And thank everybody in Twitch chat hanging out with us and watching it. Thank you so much for doing that. If you guys want more MangaPod, we have the subreddit, which Lou linked to the upcoming recommendation thread. And there's also the schedule there. If you want to go and check out what we're going to be reading through the end of June, you can go ahead and do that. That is reddit.com/r/MangaPod. But we will be here same time, same place next week discussing A Bride's Story, chapters 18 through 36. And we hope to see you then. Bye!
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye!